Hi, Mandy J here, and today we have two of the Incredible line Funko Pops featuring Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, and here I have Mr. Transformers 96.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited for these Incredibles Pops. Very much looking forward to them coming out, and here we have them. If you want to check out which ones we did pick up, we did post a separate video talking just kind of our general thoughts on the series and our plans for reviews and things like that. You can always check out.
Yeah, and we have just a little bit of the images of the mystery minis, so I feel like we won't really go over them just because there's not much more to say other than just how they look and everything.
Yeah, Underminer's the only one that we're going to review with the pop, but the rest, unless we end up getting more, we probably won't do a video of, unless you guys really want it.
Yeah, so anyway, let's get to it. And just like in the other review with Violet and Frozone, we do have the very simple red border, Incredible 2 logo, and the simple characteristics on the side. And again, I always love the art for Funko. I feel like they are always great. And then on the back here, you do have the rest of the assortment as well. And so far, we have almost everything except Screensaver because he is yet to... Screenslaver. But you can see why I think Screensaver. Yep. He has yet to come out in... any of the stores, so we're gonna have to keep an eye out for him just so we can snag one of him as well. Anyway, overall, I think these look great in package. I feel like Mr. Incredible is a little bit sunken, but it's either you cut off top of his head or some of his feet, yeah. So...
I think he's pretty solid. My issue is Elastigirl is a little too high. She can definitely go lower.
Yeah, I can see that. I think she's pretty centered, though. Like, I don't feel like it's really cutting off the top of her head, nor her feet. So I feel like she's pretty centered. But, let's just bust them out of the box, see what they look like outside.
Let's do it.
Here they are out of package, and I have to say, they look amazing.
I love them, yeah.
Oh, wait. They look incredible.
Ha ha ha, of course, can't pass up a pun. Yeah, they do definitely look really nice. I'm very happy with them. And I like these stances here. They could have definitely gone a little more extreme, a little more posy, somewhat like the Mystery Minis that did go a little more in the pose route and really, you know, kind of express their powers and things like that. These went with more stances, but I think that they're good stances. I think that these will work nice for group photos with the family.
Yeah, and I definitely like how Mr. Incredible, like, he's in the box with kind of a tilted head. But, whoops, haha, good job me. But you can really have him kind of standing with his head off to the side or to the front. He has like a really neat kind of pose that no matter how you pose him, he looks really good with his head kind of tilted.
Yeah, definitely. Like any of the positions of the head just give him kind of a new dynamic of his pose, and they work really well, which is cool. And he almost has a quality of looking up, and maybe that's just because you're used to seeing that with that type of hands on the hip, you know, pose, but it kind of looks like that, which I do enjoy. As far as the pose for Elastigirl, she looks very nice. I like the hand on the hip. It is very reminiscent from the movie, but she is very just skinny and she just goes straight down, which allows her to be a little tipsy with the big head. So she is very much on her right leg. Like her left leg doesn't support her at all, and therefore you really have to move her head tightly to get her to actually stand up without a base, because she is very easily tipped over. She does come with a base though, so of course you can utilize that, but I always prefer when you don't have to use a base, so it's a bit of a shame. I wish that they posed her a little more in mind with allowing her to be able to stand easily on her own.
Yeah. She definitely is favoring one side, but I feel like that is a traditional pose for her, like a very iconic pose. So I'm happy they went with it, like if they had to choose a very basic pose.
Yeah, I like the pose.
And I know from like the exclusive, we're getting a different pose and stuff.
Yeah, that shows her power a little bit. It's very similar to Mr. Mini one, actually, just in a different costume.
Yeah, so definitely I really like these. I think pretty overall clean. These have a little bit of issues with paint.
Yeah. As far as Elastigirl, she has a little smudge on her cheek.
But her hair on this one is pretty clean for the most part. What I was having issues with was around the belt and waist when the black and the red kind of met and such. Just because at one point the black kind of looked weird to where like it looked like they glue her torso to her like legs, and that looked really weird on one pop. It didn't feel connected, and then you would either get a very faint orange line as a belt, like it didn't quite like, it wasn't fully like painted on, it was very opaque, like see-through. And so you kind of have to really watch out for that, and especially the thinning of like the black in certain areas, because then it shows through. Like on his glove there's a little bit that just kind of like, you can kind of see through the black on his glove just a little bit there. But overall, I feel like the bodies are pretty, like, if you can find a good body, they look pretty good. Because I feel like that's what you're going to be mostly focusing on is, like, the paint on the body.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they did a pretty nice job paint-wise, but definitely go through them if you can, if there's, multiple ones on the shelf to get the best one, because just like all Pops, there are paint issues. You do have an issue with Mr. Incredible's hair?
Yeah, I feel like it's too orange. Like, it's more of, like, a strawberry blonde than a blonde.
Yeah, like, just looking at it, I don't see an issue with it, but then when you look at the artwork on the box, it's like, oh yeah, he actually should have more blonde hair. So, it's something that I personally didn't notice right away.
Even in the movie, isn't he more blonde to kind of match Dash's hair color?
The box is more accurate to the movie, but,
yeah.
So it had to be pointed out to me, but once I noticed it, I do see that it is off, which is a shame. It's not insanely off, but it is something to note.
Yeah, and then again, like with Elastigirl, her hair's darker on the art than it is on the Pop. And I feel like sometimes they have issues with hair color. Like, it looks about right on the box, but then doesn't translate to the Pop, or...
Yeah, because the Elastigirl one actually looks weird. Like, I really feel like she should have darker hair. If I could get, like, these two really discounted, I'd be really interested in repainting them. Just because they're so close to being perfect, except for the hair color, which kind of annoys me.
Well, and then also, to tell you the truth, I think it's not too... Like, her hair right now isn't too far off. Like, I think the box is a little too dark. Like,
really?
The box color, if you guys can't see it, let me do some rearranging.
Because the Mission Mini is slightly darker.
See, but this is like almost like a chocolate brown, and I don't think her hair is that color. I think it still has this like ambery color to it, but it's toned down a bit more.
Yeah.
But it still has that kind of light copper feel.
To note, the hair on both of the Mystery Minis is actually a little more accurate. It's slightly lighter when it comes to Mr. Incredible, and then it's darker for Elastigirl, which is accurate.
Though I feel like it's a little hard to tell between the two on camera. But definitely in person, you can see that they're about a shade or two darker or lighter, which is a little bit more accurate. Mm-hmm. So, but that's like all I have to really like complain about. I feel like the hair looks really great on these Pops, and the sculpt is wonderful.
Overall, I think that these are two excellent little Pops. If you have a big issue with the fact that they're not in a pose, that's the only thing that's going to really hold you back. Because they have nice stances, they're the perfect stances that really relate the characters, but they're not in an action stance. So.
That is true. I would have liked to seen them more in action, more kind of like Frozone is, but...
And speaking of Frozone, we are getting another Elastigirl in her new costume, but what I want to see from the two of these, which will go well with Frozone, is their classic costumes. Because as we see in the film, they are wearing their classic costumes, like before they get these suits from Edna. And I think that would be great to get those costumes as well. And because Frozone actually just never updates his costume, it's only the Incredibles that update it, so I think that they'd fit a lot cooler with Frozone.
So I would definitely like to see them come out with that. Or even if I can get these discounted, I would do is change the hair, but then put them in their classic. If I can, get them to their classic.
I like that a lot. Now I'm like really wanting the second version.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, I think that like... This is just going off the top of my head, but I might just pull up a picture real quick for reference.
Like light blue. What do you?
Well, no, because the thing is, that's Mr. Incredible, but for the Elastigirl...
They're like, she's white and red, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so... You should be able to kind of easily do...
But I think she has the same kind of highish boot. In her like traditional costume, and that she kind of has, similarities. Like, of course you're going to have to go in with the skin and everything, because, like, she does kind of have it to where it shows a little bit more leg. Mm-hmm. And her hair, of course, is going to be longer, so if you really wanted to, you could probably go in with some, like, putty or something and fix it.
Yeah, his costume is definitely the same. I'm trying to find a picture of Elastigirl at the moment. It's actually kind of hard.
Yeah, I can find her from, like, the waist
No, she has... I found another costume.
Oh,
but
yeah.
She is wearing just about the same thing.
Yeah, it's just,
just different colors.
Instead of it being, a suit here on the thigh, it's just, like, her thigh showing with the high boots. So it wouldn't be too hard to go in and repaint her. The only thing I would find it, like, difficult is to do the logo. Because it looks like her traditional logo is, like, it's the same thing, just in the new movie, but with a different color scheme and different costume.
Yeah, you're right. It would be a little difficult to do the logo. But, I mean, I think we could find a way. So if you guys like really want us to do a custom, let us know, because I'm certainly interested in it right now. That
I
sounds
know.
awesome.
I know.
Fun.
Over the summer, I'm definitely going to be doing a couple of customs to some pops, in which I've been talking about and throwing around ideas of doing it. I just haven't had the time to sit down and buy the paints and get to it.
Yeah. So if you want some customs from us, especially with these two Incredibles ones, let us know. I'd like to get them out before the movie comes out. I think that kind of could be pretty special. So
yeah, definitely. Well, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know where to leave them.
And thanks so much for watching.